Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Ezzytak Podcast.
Easy fucking talk podcast.
Talking easy.
Today is some motherfucking heat today. We got a big TikTok artist. I guess you could say artist.
He's sort of
creates-
an influencer, sort of an influencer.
Content creator type
Content
thing,
creator.
you know what
That's
I'm
perfect.
saying?
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
A content creator. A man
Yeah.
of many virtues.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Jonathan Nixon up here. Johnny Boy on like TikTok, Instagram, and whatnot.
Dope as hell. Dope.
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
Speaking
So,
of
good to be here.
TikTok, how did you go ahead and how did that happen? Like, bro.
It honestly like came out of nowhere. It wasn't something I was ever planning on doing. Like originally my thing was acting, like in high school and stuff. I was like hella into theater and all
Right.
that kind of stuff. But after I graduated, I moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And it was like a new area. I don't know nobody out there. Like it was just me. I think when I was out there, I just knew me and my general family, like my dad, stepmom, and stuff. So I wanted to try something different. So I got into stand-up comedy out there, performing at like coffee clubs and like bars, like sneaking in at 18 to like these 21 and up bars performing. It was
Facts.
It was definitely it was a learning experience. It was a good opportunity for me to spread my wings, be creative and like try something new. Cause I loved watching stand-up growing up. So it was just kind of, something that was just rolling in the back of my head, like maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't. So finally doing it and getting opportunities to, work all over Oklahoma and, meet a bunch of amazing people and a bunch of amazing comedians and learn from them was a real good experience. Yeah. So after that, I moved out here at the end of 2019 and the whole pandemic happened, of course, which derailed my plans on like doing live comedy in California.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Shows
Yeah.
were canceled.
actually, yeah.
Now, have you made any money from doing stand-up comedy?
Yeah. I actually got paid from doing stand up quicker than I was expecting. I thought it would be like maybe like a year or two.
Oh,
into
it's
it
a
before I
fucking
started
grind
getting
before
paid.
you start getting paid for shows. Yeah, it's a
but
grind.
I'll never forget my first payday, bro. I did. It was a show at a casino. I think I was like maybe 19 when this happened.
Damn.
And again,
That's
it's like
dope.
a 21 and up casino, and like
Yeah.
it was a comedy, like a vigorous comedy tournament or whatever, where you had to like do a 10-minute set and then a 2-minute set on like a random thing you pull out of a hat.
Damn.
And then
Yeah, that
like
takes
the last
some talent.
three, and the last three had to do like another like 5-minute set at the end. And I think I finished like fourth place in that, and I got like maybe $130.
Oh
But-
man, that's
not
yeah.
bad at
I was
all.
about to
But-
say that's good, bro.
But most times,
That's
like
more than my first show on
Yeah.
God.
most times that like I do comedy though, if it's not like an open mic or something, you really get paid based on like how many people show up. So there were shows
Yeah.
I did where I got paid like $15, $20, no money and like
No
free
money.
food wherever
yeah,
the show
free,
was at.
free drinks, free shit like that.
Yeah. So
But like a lot of people don't realize like how hard stand-up comedy is.
Yeah.
And
For
like,
real.
what would you say is like the toughest thing about doing stand-up comedy?
I would say just getting out and trying it that first time. It's like I would compare it to like music sort of in the sense that you have to be very vulnerable with your audience. Like you can't get up and like fake stand-up comedy. Like you can't you have to really like walk it and talk it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
so it was very tough to I'd say the toughest part for me being black in Oklahoma is just not really having anywhere where I felt identified.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I think I did the first time I performed for a black crowd was maybe like a year and a half to 2 years into stand up. Like literally those first 2 years I performed for like all white crowds all the time. So it was just really
Man.
tough to get these people to like me. Oklahoma is not like
It ain't no joke.
it's not no progressive welcoming state. It's very
Right.
old school, very Democrat. I mean, very, very Republican, very
very red.
very conservative. Yeah. So
very red.
so I was very nervous in that sense of like these white people ain't really gonna fuck with me, and it's just gonna be like I'm gonna have to just run after every set because I'm gonna piss people off every time.
Get in
But
the car and start zooming.
yeah,
Zoom on
and
a
there
motherfucker.
were instances where I had like a couple close calls. Like I remember there was one time like I was doing a show and like there was these two dudes in the crowd that like weren't really fucking with it the whole time. Like they weren't like laughing at the jokes. They were just like comedy is very nasty in the point where like if people don't like you, they are not going to like you're gonna know. You're gonna hear them talking,
Yeah.
you're gonna hear them
Yeah.
stuff like that all the time. So I mean it wasn't in the sense of like I wasn't funny. They just didn't like what I was being funny about. So
Right, because
like
there were like those type of people that get sensitive about the type of stuff
Yeah,
you talk about.
yeah, so they sat, had their little mean faces on the whole time, and then I got to my last joke in my set, which like it was a joke on how black people take everything white people do and put it to the next level. So like it was a joke about like how Donald Trump thought he was good at pissing off black people, and Kanye West was like, nigga, watch this. And this is like right around the time where Kanye was like on his whole slavery was a choice type thing.
Right.
So,
Oh yeah, I remember
so
that. I remember
so
that.
obviously that joke got a lot of laughs, and like these dudes that were like trying to hate me the whole show, like I looked and they were like dying,
Just
laughing their asses off.
just
So
going.
that was kind of the moment where I was realizing, you know, like this is definitely something that like I can get versed in. I'm meeting a lot of people, you know. There were times where I would have a set and have to leave right after my set because I didn't want to have like no issues with anybody.
Really, like that?
Yeah, like man, man, I'll tell you, like I was performing that show that I just told you guys about where I got paid. It was in Miami, Oklahoma, which is not where I was at. It was in Tulsa, and Miami is about an hour and some change away from Tulsa.
Okay, so not too bad. Not too bad.
Hella abandoned and vigorous and secluded and
you got a show out there?
yes.
Yeah, you gotta get it.
Literally, it was a
Hey,
casino.
that grind is that independent grind.
Yeah, it was a casino in the middle of nowhere.
Oh,
so
well, that
like,
makes sense. A casino's gonna bring in some traction.
yeah, and like being in Tulsa, I already like didn't really know a lot of people out there. So doing a show in Miami, I really didn't know anybody.
You were
out
like,
there.
"Fuck, I'm going in here blind. I don't know
so
nobody."
Like, literally, I remember like after my show, just like leaving as fast as I could because I didn't want to have no kind of issue with nobody. But like I was never like in any serious danger. I think in the whole time, which you know I got lucky because I've heard and seen stories of like people being attacked on stage and attacked after stage. Like there was a comedian that I featured for. His name is Mike Head, and he was the headliner at the show that I was hosting, and he after the show, he looked at like this club that we were performing at. They have like comment cards that they put on all the tables for like people to write, you know, who if they like the comedian, if they like the food, whatever it may be. And this guy gets off and he looks and he was like, I was like, what are you looking at all the cards for? He's like, yeah, I've had some shows where like people will like draw like monkeys on like the comment cards and like draw a bunch of like racist shit and like write a bunch of stuff about like how much they hate you. And I'm very thankful I never had to deal with any like that kind of hate because you know it's a very dangerous world. You know, people are crazy. So
I think something that I have to say first of all, the comedian route is such an underrated route. It's like being a stand-up comedian. A lot of times you hear about the Kevin Harts, you know, the Dave Chappelles, and like rightfully so. But I know a lot of comedians who are independent artists. I related to that because being an independent artist, like you said, you got to do shows where there's, you know, I'm assuming you've had a show where there's 10 people and you've had a show where there's 100 people. And it's such an underrated thing to venture into because, dude, like as an independent artist, when I was first coming up and doing shows, I remember there being like 10 people and I brought like 5. And it's like, yo, what the hell, you know? So it's mad respect to that.
It's
like,
definitely
fuck comedians for that.
It's definitely a grind in the sense of like you don't really know what you're gonna get until you're there. So like there were like you said, there were shows I did that had like 4 people in the crowd. Like
man,
you know, but that kind of energy, it could still be that's what I like about comedy. It could still be a good environment. I've had shows where the most fun I've had on stage was like in a crowd of like 10, 15 people.
Crazy
and
energy.
Like I've been in crowds of like hundreds of people, full rooms, and you know, it's the energy's not there. People are just not, you know, they're not into it. Or like I remember I did a bunch of open mics at this coffee house. It was like right in the middle of downtown Tulsa, and it was good to have like something to do in that area and like time, but there were a lot of people in there that weren't there for specifically stand-up comedy. They were there to get their coffee or whatever it may be. So like, you know, I'm in the middle of a set, people were like talking, ordering coffee, whatever it may be. So, you know, it's kind of challenging in that sense, but you just kind of find your own way, keep repetitiveness is the key. So, yeah.
So, yeah, now you like push more towards TikTok now, right? Because, you know, shows are getting canceled and stuff. Now, like, what was like the process of like blowing up from that?
Honestly, TikTok was kind of came out of nowhere thing. I was definitely one of those people when TikTok was first blowing up. They're like, what the hell is this kid app? It's
what
like,
the fuck is this?
It's a Vine ripoff.
I didn't get on it until like 3 weeks ago.
I'm never gonna download that shit. You watch TikTok? That's so boring.
That's
so
gay.
stupid.
I used to say that's gay. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah.
I'm like, that's the app niggas be dancing and all that. Like, nah, I'm never gonna do that, right? So after obviously everything shut down because of the pandemic, I had gotten TikTok. It's just like, you know, I'm just, you know, fuck around thing. What's the worst that could happen? You know,
right.
I was posting videos like every couple months, maybe like whenever something funny just popped in my head, I was like, okay, maybe I'll make a TikTok out of this. Maybe like I was shelving a lot of ideas. And at the beginning of this year, I kind of made a lot of way to, you know, stay more consistent with it and continue to post videos every day and, you know, every week. And so
that's how the algorithms work, right? The more you post, the more like people see it, right?
Yeah, sometimes the algorithm is hella funny though, like, and TikTok is just so weird, just in the sense of like the videos that you don't really put that much effort into, they kind of do better than the ones that you put a lot of effort and time into. Like,
that's very true.
Yeah, like the one that the first video I ever had that did like that went viral, I guess you could say. I did like a reaction with my cousin, and it was like this little like it was a stupid little prank thing where like you show them and it's like the finest booties on TikTok or whatever, and it's like a bunch of like it's like 3 women booties, and then like the last one's a dude, and it's like, nigga, you gay, like that's a crazy thing. Yeah. So literally, that's the first video that I did, which took no effort. I just recorded and put it in front of my cousin's face.
A true reaction, yeah.
And that one did like 77,000 views or something like that.
Because I remember doing like a video like it took me like an hour to edit, and it was like doing like Drake's top songs.
Yeah,
I only got like 300, 400
views,
man,
something like that. I hate the way TikTok works like that, because I've done, there have been videos that like I have tried to do these trends and it's literally taken me all day. Like I remember that wipe it down challenge was popping off, where you like do the wipe in front of the mirror and you're wearing something different or whatever.
I wasn't even on TikTok when that was popping off. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, wipe it out. I thought it was the show, the game show, the wipe it out game show.
Oh, wipe out.
Was it wipe out? Yeah, wipe out.
Yeah. That show was smacking.
That show was smacking. Did somebody die from that show, or am I tripping?
Oh, I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I don't know how you could die from wipe out.
I don't know. Something happened. Like,
back to yours. Off a trampoline too hard or something, but. Yeah, so there were like videos I was doing where like I spent all day, and this is before I had like a ring light, anything. Now I didn't have any equipment except my phone, so like I'm over here with the bag of fucking tortillas, like trying to get my phone to stand up straight so I can record this video.
That's a grind.
Yeah, and I recorded. Obviously, it like flops, but TikTok's algorithm is like hella like janky anyway.
It's
like
fucking weird, man.
Like, I used to think like the more hashtags you use, the more like people you draw in.
Yeah,
I think I don't know if that's still the case with TikTok. It's been an app that just took off. Now I gotta ask you, like you said, you are an independent comedian, and you've done shows, 10 people, 100 people. Do you feel validation waking up one morning and being like, yo, my TikTok where I was being funny has 77,000?
Yeah.
Was that like a moment where you were like, holy shit?
Maybe not for that particular video, just because like it didn't take like that much effort, like I said, but there are some that like I've done and put in more effort into that have gone like bigger than that. Like I have some that have 250,000 views. One I posted a few weeks ago almost has 1 million. It's at like 930 something.
Oh, okay.
But it is pretty validating to see like that people enjoy the content. Like I read the comments, people are like, man, I haven't laughed this hard in weeks or whatever. Like this made my day, whatever. Like you're so amazing. This is an inspiration. And like, I don't really know how to react to stuff like that, because I don't really look at myself as like an inspiration per se, but like to, you know, have somebody get that laugh. Because I've had those days where like it was a very shitty day and I saw that one video that just made me laugh for like 10 minutes and it just like switched my whole mood around. So I like to be that for people, you know, make them laugh. Like, you know, that kind of validation I seek. Like after like doing shows, people telling you, you know, like you're like so hilarious, man. I can't wait to see you. Like someone that works at the comedy club that I performed at the most out in Oklahoma, he wrote me a few months ago. It's like the new owner of the club, and said like those comment cards. The same comment cards. Someone had written on it and like asked like, "Where's Jonathan Nixon? Like, where's this guy? I haven't seen him performing here or whatever," because they didn't know that I moved.
Man. That's an impact though. That's something you did. Yeah.
And that honestly like made me feel really good. It's like, wow, they still remember
months later
that I was putting in. You know what I'm saying? Like
months later, man.
Yeah. So. That stuff is still, you know, I still obviously love that kind of stuff. And making people laugh is like the best thing in the world. So.
And then like now, like since you have like this big platform on TikTok and you're doing stand-up, do you plan on like merging them both into each other? Like kind of promoting yourself on TikTok now, or?
Yeah, like I want to, I'm still trying to find like my niche, I guess you could say. Like I don't really know what that is going to be, like what is going to be my bread and butter, like whether it's going to be stand-up or TikTok or, you know, it could be acting, anything else. But
yeah,
I right now I'm just trying to really focus on getting content like everywhere. So like anything that I'm trying to work on like posting more of my stand-up. The biggest mistake I think I made doing stand-up is like I didn't record a lot of my shows, honestly.
Man,
if you look, there are probably
that camera
like
guy, that B-roll guy needs to be shooting everything. Yeah.
But like I said, you know, I was going to all these shows alone most of the time. Or like friends that I had invited. And I think like a couple of them did help me record. here and there. But like most of I think I have maybe 4 or 5 shows that I've done recorded, and I've done like dozens by this point. So
yeah, a handful
it's
of them. That
yeah.
should have. You know, me and you, we've known each other for a really long time, and you spoke about it a little bit. You don't know what your niche is, or you don't know what it is yet, because I know you used to rap back in the day.
Yeah, bro.
And
Oh
we
my.
and we had a video, bro, that did go semi-viral. It did go semi-viral. We were battling against each other, and was a group of kids. I don't even know how many people. It was just a group of circle.
Those rap battles at lunch were like literally like so hilarious. I literally don't even remember like how those even started, but I remember by the end of it, there was one particular day we were doing it, and the crowd was like so big around this battle that like security was thinking there was a fight happening or something
I
like
remember
that.
that. I remember
And,
that.
like,
I remember
they
that.
were like trying to tell us like to shut down the rap
I'm like,
battles.
what
'cause
are we
people were
doing
gonna fight.
wrong?
I'm
We're
like,
not doing nothing
I
wrong.
don't
We're
think
not
there
doing
was
nothing.
ever any like situation where like people
No,
got in
and
fights
me
like
and
that.
you always took it like, yo, it's a respect thing, because the
always.
video we did have, bro, I've refrained from using the word in my music, but I was like, the way this spits today is supposed to make me sweat. I know all y'all got the same question. Where the fuck is your neck?
Can we get the clip?
And then literally the entire just interrupted,
Yes,
and I was
bro.
like, oh, bro,
That
I just
shit was
I remember
hilarious.
seeing the look on your face. He got that one. He
Bro,
got that
I
one.
went
Yeah.
home that day and literally I was like, right, I'm about to kill this nigga tomorrow. I was like, I had a whole notebook full of stuff. I was just like,
He was ready. He was blasting off. He was
I was
blasting
like,
off
how
the
dare
next
you
day.
make fun of my neck? He just as big as me. Like it was.
That was the
was
thing.
funny.
I had no reason talking about your neck, bro. I had no neck myself.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, when I look back at it, we always laugh because I forgot who said it, but one of my homies was like, you didn't have a neck, so I don't know why everybody they took that and just went with it. It was an amazing. That was amazing though, like that memory and
it was
I
crazy.
hope,
Honestly, that was like one of the more fun moments I think I can remember from high school. Other than like theater and stuff, those were
shout out to
definitely like a
theater.
highlight of my day. Like I remember like just being like getting hyped. Like y'all,
It's
y'all
lunchtime. We battling today.
Yeah, like y'all might
Fuck
want
the
to pull up that
spicy
lunch.
chicken.
It's gonna be crazy.
Fuck
yeah.
the spicy chicken. We
Bro,
battling today.
I give like ever since I was in theater, I give more props to the theater kids because preparing for a play, dog, is
Man.
no joke.
That shit is vigorous.
Really?
For those who don't know, I used to be in theater junior year in high school. I just wanted to try it out to see, what was
Yeah,
up and
like
stuff.
okay, let's see what's popping.
Let's see what's popping, and like I was like towards the end of the school year, we had to do a play, the Random Acts.
That's when you wore that green shirt.
I had to wear like a solid color shirt
Hell
and
no.
shit.
I
I'm
have
like,
that
yo,
video still, bro.
Yeah.
He's like, hip hip hooray with the sword in there. I'm like,
we had to
oh
perform
my god, bro.
Bohemian
Didn't
Rhapsody.
they grab you off stage for one time?
Which one?
It was like I think it was like a crowd participation kind of scene, and like somebody like picked you out of the crowd or something like that. I don't know, but
Like, hip hip hooray with a plastic sword.
I had to get
I'm
a
like,
plastic
Eli,
sword
alright,
and shit.
bro.
I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
what the fuck am I doing?
Everybody's
Yeah.
just looking at you. I'm like, Eli, there's no reason why you should be wearing a green shirt.
We
Bro.
had
You
to
got football
perform.
practice in 20 minutes.
I know
bro.
I had football practice right after too.
For
I'm
real.
like, fuck. And we had to perform Bohemian Rhapsody after.
yes,
okay, all right.
that was my favorite part, honestly.
Can't be touching gold like that sometimes. So you gotta leave. Some things gotta be left alone. That one might be the one we
Yeah.
left alone there.
No.
That was a classic.
We killed it that year though. It was
Yeah.
it was
Yeah?
a good play.
It is definitely like more vigorous than people give it credit for, I think, because it was vigorous for me in high school, especially my senior year. I think I had like the lead role in like both the plays and the Random Acts. I think I did like the Bohemian Rhapsody. It was very exhausting.
Damn.
But
Yeah.
definitely I would say doing it at the college level, which I did like the very next year, was even more vigorous because, you have to theater is kind of like a facet. You have to understand like every part of it. So like if you want to be like a major in theater, or you want it to be like your career, you have to kind of understand everything about the theater. So like we were doing, I remember like being honestly shocked because I wanted to be a major in theater, obviously. So I went to like Tulsa Community College, and there were so many classes where I was just like, man, I didn't know. I thought I knew about theater. Like I thought I knew. I didn't know
Yeah,
shit.
you're coming
Like,
in. You
you had
was
to
like
do-
you said, the leading role. You thought you were hot shit. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. And you had to do a lot of like, there are a lot of situations like I had to humble myself and like be more of a learner, like learning lighting and stuff, learning
Dude, yeah.
how to do my own makeup, learning how costumes work, like all that kind of stuff. is just,
Being in it, like
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
understanding the art of it.
I was definitely one of those people who like was an actor who didn't really appreciate the tech side of things until, my first college production that I worked on, I was in the tech side. I was the one that was like moving the deck around and stuff like that. And, it's very vigorous. It's you know, it takes a toll, but I definitely enjoy it. Like I like getting like that challenge to work hard and, you know, bring new content. Yeah.
Dude, that's dope as hell. Jonathan, you are such an amazing dude. And whatever you find, whether it's comedian, whether it's the music stuff, whether it's the acting,
Yeah.
we are wishing you nothing but the best,
Yeah.
man.
Thank you, man.
Much
Thank
love
you.
and
That means a
respect,
lot.
bro.
That means a lot.
Yeah,
man.
always,
I appreciate
always.
that.
Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, thank you again, brother.
Yes, sir.
Always, always.
Pleasure.
Thank you, man.
Pleasure
Thank
for
you,
having
thank you,
me.
thank you.
Pleasure for having me, y'all.
Thank you, man.
Yes, sir. I'm glad we got to do this for real.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Peace, y'all.